Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Dispelix.
All right, so get this. We're diving deep into Dispelix today.
Ooh.
And,
Oh, yeah.
you sent over a ton of articles, press releases, even stuff right from their website.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, this company, it's doing some really fascinating things with AR.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking over 200 patents,
Wow.
partnerships with some really major players like Foxconn.
Right.
They're even working on tech that could make AR glasses look like just normal everyday glasses.
Really?
No more of those.
Yeah, those clunky headsets.
Yeah, exactly. So let's break this down and see exactly how Dispelix is kind of quietly changing the game in the world of AR.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Quietly changing the game. You know, they're not the loudest company out there, but they're really focused on a critical piece of the AR puzzle, and that's waveguide display technology.
Okay, so for those of us who haven't, gotten our PhD in AR tech yet,
Right.
break down waveguide displays for us.
Yeah.
What are they and why are they so important?
Okay, so think of it this way. Imagine the lenses of your glasses acting like tiny little projectors, beaming images right into your eyes.
Okay.
That's basically what a waveguide display does. It takes the light from a tiny projector and guides it through this series of microscopic structures that are etched onto the lens.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like a miniature obstacle course for the light.
I like that.
And the result is this really seamless blend of digital images with your real-world view, and you can do it all without needing those bulky headsets.
So no more looking like I just stepped out of a sci-fi movie.
Exactly.
I'm sold.
Good.
But what makes Dispelix's approach to waveguide displays stand out from the rest? Are they doing anything different, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, they have a few tricks up their sleeves. One is that they've developed this proprietary software that actually mimics the way that the human eye processes augmented reality.
Oh, wow.
And this is a big deal because one of the biggest challenges in AR is getting those virtual images to line up perfectly with what your eyes are seeing in the real world.
Yeah. I've tried some AR demos where the images felt kind of off,
Right.
like they were just kind of floating there in front of my face instead of actually being a part of the scene.
Exactly.
It's not really comfortable to look at for very long.
Yeah, and that misalignment can cause eye strain, even nausea sometimes.
Right.
But Dispelix's software is really tackling this problem head on. By mimicking the way that our eyes naturally focus and converge, they can create a much more comfortable and realistic AR experience.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So they're focused on user comfort, but their website also talks a lot about mass production.
Uh-huh.
How does that fit in?
Well, that's another key part of their strategy. They're not just, tinkering around in the lab. They're designing these waveguides with mass production in mind from the very beginning.
Okay.
And that's where these partnerships with companies like Foxconn and Pegatron come into play.
Yeah, I was going to say.
These are, giants in the manufacturing world.
Huge.
And their expertise is crucial for bringing this technology to a wider audience.
So Dispelix has the innovative tech and the manufacturing muscle, but I'm also seeing a lot about their commitment to quality.
Yeah.
They actually just hit a major milestone, too, over 200 patents.
Wow. Yeah.
What can you tell me about their approach to quality control?
Well, their patent portfolio is definitely impressive.
Yeah.
And it really underscores their dedication to innovation. One patent in particular that caught my eye describes a system for automatically inspecting the waveguide displays during manufacturing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're basically using AI and machine vision to spot any imperfections and make sure that every single waveguide meets their really high standards.
Wait, so they're not just building cool tech, they're building systems to make sure that that tech is flawless.
Absolutely.
That's serious attention to detail.
It is. They're clearly thinking about every step of the process, from design to manufacturing to that quality control. And that kind of meticulousness is really essential if they want to become a leader in this space.
Okay, so they've got the tech, the manufacturing power, the quality control down pat.
Yeah.
But who are they actually building this for?
Yeah.
I noticed that their website mentions both consumer and enterprise AR.
Right.
Are they trying to be everything to everyone?
That's a great question. And while they do work across both markets, they approach them in a very strategic way. So on the consumer side, they're really focused on creating these AR glasses that are stylish and comfortable enough for people to wear every day.
Okay.
Imagine, a world where you can check your notifications or get directions, even play games, all through a pair of glasses that look like your regular everyday glasses.
Okay.
That's the vision that they're working towards.
Okay, now you're talking, I've tried on some of those early AR headsets,
Yeah,
and let's just say they weren't exactly fashionable.
right.
But if they can actually make AR glasses that look good, I think people would actually wear them.
I think so too.
What about the enterprise side? What are they doing there?
So for businesses, they have a more customized approach. They work directly with companies in different industries to develop these AR solutions that are specifically tailored to their needs.
Interesting.
For example, imagine surgeons using AR overlays during surgery to see things like real-time vital signs or even 3D anatomical models projected right onto their field of view.
Whoa.
Or think about factory workers getting step-by-step instructions projected right onto the equipment that they're working on.
Wow, that's next level stuff. We're not just talking about, checking email here.
Right.
We're talking about revolutionizing entire industries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Dispelix so interesting. They're not just focused on one specific application. They're providing this foundational technology that can enable all sorts of different AR experiences from, everyday use to complex industrial applications.
It sounds like they've got a really solid strategy, build the best tech, make sure it's top-notch quality, and then partner with the right people to bring it to market.
And speaking of partnerships,
Yeah, I was really impressed by the list of companies they're working with. It's not every day you see a, relatively small Finnish company
right.
collaborating with giants like Foxconn, Pegatron,
Yeah.
Avegant, even Collins Aerospace, which
Oh.
is part of RTX, a major defense contractor.
Yeah, their partnerships are really a testament to the power of their technology and the trust that they've built in the industry.
Definitely.
And you already touched on Foxconn and Pegatron, who are essential for that mass production.
Right.
Avegant is another big one. They're a leader in visual display technology, and they're working with Dispelix to develop even more immersive and realistic AR experiences.
Okay, but defense contractors, that's a whole different world. What are they doing with Collins Aerospace?
Well, this partnership really shows how versatile their technology is. They're exploring all these different applications for AR and aerospace and defense,
Right.
which could revolutionize things like pilot training, battlefield awareness, and even maintenance procedures.
Wow.
Imagine a pilot seeing real-time flight data and navigation info projected right onto their visor.
Yeah.
Or a soldier using AR overlays to identify targets and assess threats in a really complex environment.
That sounds straight out of a movie.
It does.
But it's not all serious stuff, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you mention something about them getting involved in holographic gaming?
Oh, yeah. Remember that article about 3D holographic gaming becoming a reality?
Yeah.
That's where Dispelix is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AR. They're working on tech that could bring those really immersive holographic experiences to life.
Okay.
Allow you to interact with virtual characters and objects as if they were right there in your living room.
Hold on, I'm getting serious Ready Player One vibes here.
I know, right?
But seriously, this stuff is mind-blowing. So we've covered a lot of ground here. From the, inner workings of waveguide displays to these huge partnerships, and even a glimpse into this future of holographic gaming.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
It has.
Yeah.
But what does all this mean, for the average person?
Well, I think it means that we're really at the beginning of a huge technological shift. And Dispelix, even though they're kind of under the radar, they're really setting themselves up to be a leader in this whole AR revolution.
It's funny. They haven't been making as much noise as some of the bigger companies in the AR space.
Right.
But they seem so focused on building this foundation for a future where AR is just as normal as smartphones.
Yeah, exactly. They're not chasing hype. They're really methodically developing and refining the tech that's going to make that future possible. And their approach seems to be working.
Remember that article about the projected growth of the AR market?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be worth trillions of dollars in the next few years. It sounds like Dispelix is in the right place at the right time.
They're not just in the right place. They're shaping the whole landscape. Think about how this technology could change your life. Imagine a world where you can, get information, connect with people, experience entertainment in ways that we can't even imagine right now.
Okay, I'm trying to picture this. Let's say I'm walking down the street. How would AR change that experience?
Okay, so instead of pulling out your phone to check directions, you could just see virtual arrows right there on the street guiding you where you need to go.
Oh, wow.
Or imagine looking up at a building and seeing its history, architectural details, even reviews of the businesses inside, all displayed right there in front of you.
And what about shopping? I already spent way too much time shopping online.
Well, imagine trying on clothes virtually, seeing how furniture would actually look in your living room before you buy it, or even getting personalized recommendations based on, what you like and where you are, all through these AR glasses. The possibilities are kind of mind-blowing.
We've been hearing about the promise of AR for years, but it's always felt kind of like science fiction. But with companies like Dispelix doing such amazing things, it feels like that future is finally getting closer.
And that's the exciting part. Dispelix is showing us that AR isn't just about the technology itself, it's about the experiences that the technology can create. And those experiences have the power to completely change the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
So what's the final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say start thinking about how AR could fit into your own life, both personally and professionally. What problems could it solve? What opportunities could it open up? The future of AR is happening right now, and it's up to us to imagine what it could be.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Dispelix and augmented reality. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.